you know, you can call me special, whatever you would like, but I'm going to tell you an important story. And it goes back to a man named Ricky Primrose, who is Jewish. He's a Jewish man. His wife is Jewish. Her name is Megan Primrose, or her name was Megan Primrose. And they're Jewish. They have a son named Judah. And I believe they have, he has 4 sons. And one of his sons is named Judah. Anyway, my son David bit him very hard while they were like a daycare or whatever at the church. David bit very, pretty much almost drawing blood because they were young. I think David was probably 4 years old. Judah was probably younger. But I don't know if it was Judah. I think Isaiah was one. They were like some of the tribes of Israel. Judah is a tribe of Israel. Isaiah is a tribe. And there's a few others. But David bit him very, very hard. And I'm sorry about that. So what Ricky did for me to pay was, instead, Ricky did not forgive me. Because Ricky never said anything like, I forgive you, or I pardon you for what your son did to my son. And they're only like 4 years old. Instead, this is what Ricky did. Ricky took away my wife, Angel, my son, David, my daughter, Elizabeth, and my daughter, Gwendolyn, and allowed my mother-in-law, Denise, to shepherd them or steward them, and no longer allowed me to do it. I'm also different, too. I'm not shaped like the Jewish man. I'm shaped like a Christian man. Then, after he dumped all that away, he sicked a Jewish witch on me. And she bit me right here and caused bodily harm while I was in the shower. And that was commanded to be done by a guy named Ricky Primrose, who is a pastor of MacArthur Boulevard Baptist Church. And they sicked her onto me as revenge for what David did to Judah or Isaiah for biting them. That's not forgiveness. He has not asked me, or has not told me that he forgives me because he's Jewish. He's a Jewish man running a Baptist church. Check his bloodline. He's Jewish. He's from Oklahoma. So a woman was in charge of biting me right here as hard as she possibly could. That's what they told her to do. You will bite Cole right here as hard as you can. And that's delusion. But it's not delusion anymore, because I told you my delusion. Because this show is different. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you're used to watching. It's not your comfort zone. It's a little disturbing. Did that really happen? No. A woman didn't bite me in the shower right here because my son bit his son. But my son did go around biting people. But that's what a delusion is. It's when you come up with this lie in your mind. My dad does it all the time. All the time. This happened because of this, and this person's a witch, and people do it all the time. But I can't scientifically prove that. Can I? But we are at spiritual war, and I do ask for forgiveness for what my son did. I ask you to forgive me and forgive David for what he did, for being a biter, because he grew up biting people. When he was like 2 years old or 3 years old, he would just go and grab, one of the kids' hands and just bite. He would do that. And we don't know why. We tried vinegar. We tried spraying, I don't know, I think it was vinegar and it's like a taste that's kind of gross in the mouth. So you'd spray it in the kid's mouth and say, don't bite, and they would still go bite anyway. We don't know why David bit your sons. We don't know why that anger was there. You can blame me, but I ask you to forgive what my son did to you. My delusion, and forgive my delusion. Forgive me for sharing open, real delusion with you and experimenting with not only theater and film and cinema and video arts or videography and the way we tell stories and the way we think. Because I think it would help society to hear someone's delusion. So it's not true. A lady didn't really bite me in the shower and was sicked upon me. Or did she? Only God knows some things. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Which one?
This right here.
The whole baggage?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I have no idea if they really took my kids or not. They tried to, and I tried to keep them from doing it, and it made me mad. So Angel left. So in one way or another, things lead to a problem in churches. I don't go to really organized churches a whole lot anymore because there's too many fights and too much immaturity, and they need to learn to grow up. Not against organized religion, but I'm against organized torture of a person. And I'm against a church that doesn't share their money or wealth, and they act like a bunch of capitalist pigs, and they don't respect the poor. Not in the church. They show off their wealth to other people, and they torture them, and I don't like that in church. I think a church should have equality. They should share their money, and they should make the poor rich. That's what the church should do, regardless of my son biting your son, or my son biting your children. I don't think he bit your daughter, but he might one day if you don't watch out. The church should be, or they should have equality. They should be a giving church, hospitable. Regardless, all they do is make fun of people and go to Disney World and act like a bunch of fools. Then they love to use the word grow up. I'm telling you, some of these people are gonna rot in hell, for sure. And they'll tell you, they'll be the first to tell you that they will. Trunk, open. Thanks. Let me see. Yeah. Trunk open. Now we got it the second time. Here the second time coming, the church will be equal, and they'll share their wealth, and he'll separate the wheat from the chaff. So don't think you're getting there yet, just because you go to church every day and you never miss a Sunday, because you got something coming. Yeah, David was mean. He liked to bite. We got onto him about it, but we can't be perfect. That goes for all of us. There we go. I'm gonna keep it up front, or actually in the back, but still up front from the trunk. Keep it in the middle. There we go. And I'll just go like this. Here, looks really yummy. I love French food. It's actually my favorite. French is my favorite. It's my favorite food. I've been to Paris myself. I love French food. It's fatty, and they love to cook. The French. But you know, you got to go to Paris and have their bread. You're talking about New York bread? Go to Paris and eat their loaves of bread. Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, monsieur. All right, we're going from Rise, which is a restaurant, to your front door step. And it's going to be 3.2 miles, 11 minutes, arrival time 6:21 in the PM, as in the post-meridium. Starting to be able to say that a little quicker. Post-meridium. We'll go the back way. There's Neiman Marcus. Someone coming out right there. They're probably churchgoers right there. Got themselves a little bit of a Neiman Marcus. I'm going to go this way. It's less congested. Neiman Marcus. Nothing like Neiman Marcus. Just in case you need to buy some clothing, go to Neiman Marcus and you get it 3 times more expensive. Always. You get it 3 times more expensive at Neiman Marcus. Go there. Triple the price. Pay more. Neiman Marcus. So one time in Sunday school, Megan Primrose told me that everyone has common grace. So everyone can see that bird. Well, we could for a moment till it flew off. And then Megan said, but not everyone has saving grace. Where does it say that in the Bible? I just want to know the scripture. Where does it say that in the Bible? That everybody has common grace, but not everybody has saving grace. She was saying that I was going to burn in hell right there in front of everybody. I have 3 children. Megan. You had 5 children, or maybe 6 children, however many you have. But it doesn't mean you're going to keep them. Not for all of time. And if you go to hell, you won't see them unless you watch them feast at the table while you beg for a drop of water, depending on where you're going to go. That's a squirrel right there. Representation of the prostitute. The squirrel. And much literature. The squirrel is the prostitute. Go run along, Timmy. Timmy the squirrel wrote about him. And one time in Sunday school, she said the words, writing, that's relaxing. Okay. All right. So why are you saying that writing is relaxing? You know, you got to watch what you say. Paul talked about it in the New Testament. He didn't want these women feuding in the church over certain things. Yeah, writing is relaxing, but there's a reason why you're saying that. It's not out of the blue. Writing, that's relaxing. No, it's not always relaxing. It takes work. You have to think about where the words go. You have to think about the spelling. You have to think about everything. It's mental labor. Writing is not always relaxing. Why don't you try writing a book and see how easy it is to make it entertaining so that the readers will buy it so that you can eat food and feed your children. Why don't you try it? Get on the computer and start speaking your voice, your mind, and not the mind of another writer. Try doing it. These are some of the things I heard the church say to me as I tried to give them money and tithe to them so they could eat their food and feed their children. I know there's witchery in the church. I know there's witchcraft. There has been, ever since they hung the witches. Can't do it anymore because of the Constitution. So we don't have to hang or drown you. You can do it yourself. Ooh, there goes the cat. They blame the cats for the plague. Yes, they did. They blame the cats. It's hard to speak with this thing on. There. They blame the cats for the plague. The bubonic plague, or whatever you say. The bubonic plague. Remember the plague? This is the bubonic plague, the dark plague, or they call it the Red Death. The Red Death. They blame cats for that. It was the rats' problems. The rats did it. And you know what the rat is, don't you? What the rat will do to survive. The rat will do much to survive. Spielberg's not your only director. You are welcome. Now, you want to protect your generation. Your son Judah is your generation. Your son Isaiah is your generation. Your daughter is your generation. They could have many children. They could have 10 children or 20 children. That's your generation that you want to protect. But God will never allow you to protect your generation if you have hatred in your heart towards me. Because I like to eat muffins and bagels and pizza and delicious hamburgers. And hot dogs. You will not be allowed to have your generation if you don't respect my people and my generation. That's how God works, and you'll learn this over time. All right, we got one at Circle K, so we're gonna pick up your cigarettes and wine and drop it off at your doorstep. Probably, I'm assuming, it's gonna be like those vape things or cigarettes, one of the two. Like they're menthol style cigarettes, Jolly Ranchers, ice cream bars, Snicker bars, that kind of stuff, you know, the healthy stuff. This Jennifer Chiba stuff needs to be, investigated. I think she should be stopped. She stabbed Elliott Smith in the heart twice. Or maybe Elliott Smith did it, you know. She needs to at least talk about it, be open. Has anybody talked about it? Has anybody discussed Elliott Smith's death, really? You can't stab wound in the heart. You can't do that twice. You go right into shock immediately. All right, this is where we're gonna get your menthol cigarettes, and we'll also get the ice cream and Snicker bars and Jolly Ranchers and all the good stuff that you want. So they want a couple of king-size Snickers. That's some of it. This is what they really want to hear. Yes, they do have Haagen-Dazs, and they do have vanilla. Another one right there. So we've got Skittles. We're looking for Jolly Rancher, and they're just looking for a bag or something of Jolly Ranchers. Starbursts are there. Sweet Tarts, Skittles. There's, I don't know, Rip Rolls, Sweet Tarts, strawberries. This is Twizzlers, Sweet Tarts again. I don't see any Jolly Ranchers. Oh, okay. Here we go. Jolly Ranchers. Now we're in business. Right here. That's what we're looking for. Jolly Ranchers. I got a little collection started here. Right there. All right. And then we're going to go with the Snickers king size straight up. So there are 2 ice cream Snicker bars, the vanilla Haagen-Dazs. the Jolly Rancher hard candies and the Snickers. This is for someone's delivery. All right, so they're getting ice, so I'm figuring maybe they're, I don't know the purpose of the ice, so. Right there, just to make sure it's the right one. Okay. All right, so we're choosing 3.06. Looks like Biden did it. All right, and then, yeah, Biden bit me. We go like this way right here, and we go like this right here. Boom. Stop biting. Then we go like this right here. You can watch TV right here too. STV. There we go. That's a hard case guitar. That's a real musician. Why he's in this area, I don't know. It's a hard case guitar with a backpack. It's a serious musician. He's waiting on the bus right there. Probably going to a gig. Maybe traveling. That's actually a banjo. He's probably a band member, most likely. Get the bus right about, voila. Bel Air and wherever this is, Brian Irving. That's saying Bel Air. Yeah, it looks like a banjo. All the way from Mississippi. You know that I wrote a play called Uncle Julio's and the Cherry Bombs. It's a play I wrote when I was in Carrollton. I wrote it in a composite book. It's about a female punk rock band. They're teenagers or young girls. They work with a guy named Uncle Julio who goes and gets them Mexican food. That's Uncle Julio right there. Uncle Julio's. He goes and gets them Mexican food and he kind of watches over them while they're starting the band. It ends with a song called, I believe, Half Right by Elliott Smith. The two characters in it. One is a drummer that's mentally challenged, and she's a female. She's probably like in her, I don't know, late 20s or 30s. And then the other lady's in her mid-20s. They're not teenagers, but they practically are. If you're in your mid-20s, you're practically a kid. She's like 25 or 26, 27. And she's the lead singer. And the other band members don't show. And it takes place in a garage. The guy that lives upstairs is Uncle Julio. That's his nickname. That's what they call him. Because he brings them Mexican food from Uncle Julio's. You know, occasionally. You don't see it in the play, but that's why it's called Uncle Julio. If you even know, if you're in the play. It's a punk rock play. And it has Elliott Smith in it. I'm about to listen to Half Right now. All right, here is the Trinity River again. I do have that play. It is in composite book. I do want to do it. It's basically two young women and a man. The man's named Uncle Julio. He lives upstairs. He's probably about my age. And they have a punk rock band. and one of them is Special. And one of the lead singer kind of abuses the Special one that plays drums. And they have a song that they sing at the end of it. I wonder if that's Zeus. No, it's somebody else. It's someone else's dog. They sing a song at the end of it. It's known as Half Right by Elliott Smith. But they sing it, and she doesn't play drums on it because she abused her friend. It's two women kind of abusing each other. They're band members. They have a female punk rock band. It's called Uncle Julio and the Cherry Bombs. And the Cherry Bombs is a fictional name for a punk rock band, for a female punk rock band. It's about two females and a man that watches over them. He's kind of their keeper. He's the owner of the garage. So he owns the garage. It's set in a garage. It's about a 30-minute play or so. All right, we're headed to Guitar Center. And we're going to try out a Martin on a new song, Good News, which is about Jesus Christ and also the red, white, and blue assassins that haunt our great country. Change of plans. We're going to Tokyo Cafe. We're going to pick up a Philip roll, chicken fried rice, something with ground beef but no poached egg. We'll figure out that thing in a minute. Tan ramen, no poached egg, ground beef, and pork. We're going to also get a Philip roll. I do it out of order. So when you see my show, it goes out of order. I might as well call it out of order. I might as well. Thank you, Lynch. Sure thing. We'll be there in 20. Actually, it's 4.3 miles. 11 minutes, 7.50 or 7:50 arrival time. That's in the post meridian for Gordon Cole if he's eating that stuff. Tan ramen, no poached egg. Get the ground beef and the pork. You also want the Philip roll. Fried rice chicken. This is an area off of Hewlin Street. It's a bridge. And Linda sat right here. And I got a profile shot a few times. Because right there in the distance is the city of Fort Worth. That's where I was born. I was born downtown at All Saints Hospital. Now Baylor Scott White All Saints. And July 29th of 1973. I don't know exactly the time. My mom knows. I think maybe in the morning. My son was born at 1:05, but that was 2014 in Irving. But, you know, you can't be perfect. Irving's good enough. It's good enough place to enter. Irving's a very multicultural place. A lot of Islamic people, a lot of Indian people, a few Christians. And David was born at 1:05 a.m. in the morning in 2014. August 21st. Elizabeth was born the following year in 2015 on July 10th. So they share the same age for 1 month. They're Irish twins. I saw them one time dancing in the living room, holding hands and spinning around. Then Gwendolyn was born 2018, December 3rd. She's the winter baby. She's the one with the smile. She smiles all the time. She reminds me of a young Parsons is her name. I always forget her name, but she was in Bonnie and Clyde. She won an Oscar. She played the friend of Bonnie. Parsons is all I can remember. She was one of my teachers at the Actor Studio for one time. I sat up in the observation deck above, and looked down, and it was her teaching and Ellen Bernstein side by side. They were teaching acting, talking about movies and acting and stuff. If I said Norma Parsons, I'd probably be wrong. I always have to look it up every time. I'm sorry. I don't know everybody's name. But Ellen Bernstein was there next to her, and she was talking about a movie that she did that I forget every time. I think that movie is, I'm going to guess, Resurrection. And then I have to look it up, and I'll tell you later. And then she talked about isolating parts of her body for that role because she played a cripple, a lady that was kind of reborn in the Holy Spirit. And she talked about it at the Actor Studio, which was once a church. It was a Methodist church.